Hi guys, I'm Aaron and this is Ramsey from Fit Performance Gym. Today we're going to talk about some common squat problems and how we can correct them. Okay guys, one of the most common problems we see in the squat is the leaning forward of the torso. This applies when we're trying to do a higher bar squat. It is different if you are doing a low bar squat. I'll give you a demonstration in a bit. But first of all, the higher bar squat. So you'll note where it sits on my upper back, which is higher bar, okay, up on my traps. So what tends to happen is people, they're new to squat, you know, they have muscle mass makes it tight around the hips, is as they descend, they'll deliberately, well not deliberately, but they will fall forwards. So they'll do this. Now, more often than not, what tends to be the case is tight psoas, tight hip flexor muscles, basically pulling them into this position. So they're trying to keep upright, but they're getting pulled forwards. So one, obviously we have to do stretches to release them, but one good tip to try and work on bar pop is as follows. So what we use is the front of a power rack, or a squat rack, where you might have at your gym, and we get just within a reasonable range of the outside of the front. Now what happens is if I lean forwards in the squat, I'll catch every breath going down, okay? So what I have to do is I have to squat bolt upright to allow me to keep in, to stop myself from hitting it. So you can see as I descend, the bar path remains neutral, stays over my mid-foot, which is the key thing. Regardless of how you squat, high bar or low bar, bar should always be in front of the foot. So if you see, if I go down to the bottom and I lean forwards, I'm going to catch the pegs. Okay? So in regards to that low bar squat I was just talking about, a low bar is different. It sits, generally has a bit wider and here. Okay? So as I squat with a low bar position, I'll deliberately lean forwards. Where here the bar still remains over my mid-foot and centre of gravity, because it's further down my back. But you see, if I put it back into a higher bar, it's pushing me forward straight away. Okay, so low bar, you can get away with that to stand up like follows. The second problem I want to talk about, which is more often seen in people, is heels lifting off the floor. Okay, so as they squat, they'll do this. Okay. Often the case with people with tight calves can be pulling them forwards, or just the fact that they're learning the lift. Sometimes that's when coach get confused and think, right, I need to push the butt back to get the weight on the heels. And again, it's only relevant if you're doing low bar. So one simple fix is to get lifting shoes. So you see, I'm wearing lifting shoes at the moment. There you basically solve the problem by having the heels elevated already. So as I descend, I can sit into a full depth squat with my heels completely flat on the floor, my torso upright. Okay, if you don't have access to lifting shoes, then you're training in flat shoes, i.e. Converse, or even in your socks or barefoot, you can use plates to basically solve that problem. So place plates under the heels, step with just enough of your heel on there. You don't want your full foot on there. Just a little bit of your heel. Basically, so if I'm in flats, now I've got the plates in the back of my heels. As I squat down, I can sit much more upright. Okay, so that's two common squat problems.
Right guys, so the next two problems I'm going to talk about, really common problems with the squat, okay, is something called valgus knees, and the second thing is going to be pushing your bum back in the squat to initiate the movement. Okay, so first one then, valgus knees. Sounds quite fancy, nice and simple. It just means that as you squat down, your knees come in. Okay? Most commonly what you'll see is people go down with their knees out, and then as they descend out the squat, their knees will come in as they're struggling. Alright? So, obviously in practice it doesn't look very nice, it looks quite painful, it doesn't feel very nice, it can often lead to knee pain down the inside here. You've got ligaments like ligaments, tendons, alright, and also cartilage like meniscus that can get damaged by squatting in that way. Okay, so first thing then we're going to do to fix that is a really easy coaching cue. Okay, So if you're coaching someone who does that, or your friend with you, whoever you train with, okay, tell them to push the knees out as they squat. So as they go down, they're going to really concentrate on forcing the knees out as far as they can go. They're going to have to slow the movement down to do so, okay? And on the way up especially, they're constantly concentrating on forcing those knees outwards, okay? Over time, you'll find it will start becoming a habit. Your knees will stay out and they won't collapse in, okay? It's not going to happen overnight, it's going to take a few attempts. So, chest up, big breath, knees out, keep pushing them out, keep the tension on, nice and slow, and straight back up, okay? Second thing we're going to do to fix this problem, okay, is stretch our adductors out inside of the legs. So, these muscles here are what basically they're pulling on the knees to bring them in, okay? So, simple case of weak muscle out here, strong tight muscle in here, okay? And a tightness combined with a weakness often produces results like valgus knees, various common problems with people, okay? So you're going to stretch out your adductors. So for example, side splits going as wide as you could would be a great stretch. But in conjunction with that, you're also going to need to strengthen the muscles that are a little bit inactive, okay? So in this case, it's the glutes. So easy way to strengthen your glutes. If you imagine I'm lying down now, okay, all you're going to do is raise your leg up to the side, okay? You should feel it burning on the outside of your hip, stroke your bum. Okay, you can do, say, 5 sets of 10 reps each side for that. That will wake up these muscles which will help pull the knees out as you're going down. Okay, so stretch, strengthen, nice and simple. Okay, so the second problem I want to talk about with squatting, generally you'll see this problem with more intermediate lifters. So let's say a lifter who understands the squat, they're capable of doing a reasonable amount of weight, but they've never had any real formal coaching, and they still have some issues with their consistency. So some 3 out of 5 reps say is good, and 2 are not so great. So I'm going to demonstrate the problem now then. Okay. What will happen then is a lifter, instead of sitting down into the squat, they will initiate the movement by pushing their hips backwards. Okay, so I'll give you a demonstration now. Okay, so what I want you to focus on in this next rep, okay, after I push my hips back, watch what happens to my back at the bottom of the movement. Okay, did you notice how my back rounded? Okay, the reason for that then, okay, is as I'm pushing my hips back, there's nowhere for my hips to go now because I've descended them backwards instead of straight down the middle of my body. Okay, so in order to get to depth, I have to round my back. There's no other way. And this will lead to tipping forward, hips shooting up. Okay? As soon as you start tipping forward in the squat, as Aaron's discussed, the bar needs to be over your midfoot at all times. As soon as you tip forward, your hips will rise and all of that weight will be centralised on that top part of your neck. Okay, so I've shown you how not to do it, i.e. pushing your hips back. Now I'm going to show you how to do it, how to fix that problem. So, all we're going to do then is we're going to concentrate on sitting straight down in between our legs. Okay? So, the way we do that then, to stop ourselves pushing our hips back, is by squeezing our bum as tight as possible before starting the squat. Now if you notice here, in this position, when your bum is squeezed, it is nigh on impossible to then push it back. Okay? All you do is squeeze your bum, sit straight down into the squat, and back up. Notice how my back didn't round massively at the bottom of the lift. Okay, I'll show you that again. So, squeeze bum, straight down the middle. Okay? Nice and simple. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time practicing that lift, getting someone to help you out, cueing you, telling you when you've pushed hips back. Okay, but given a few weeks, say a period of 4 to 5 weeks of concentrated coaching, you should be able to fix that problem and your numbers will start shooting up.
Okay guys, thanks for watching that video. Hopefully it's helped you all address some common squat issues.
If you'd like to know anything more about squatting or any other training matters, feel free to get in touch with us at the Fit Performance website, fitperformance.co.uk, Fast Lane Fitness website, fastlanefitness.co.uk, and Aaron's personal training website, abspersonaltraining.com.
You can I was in the zone, man.
Just the way you bumped me.